Moving on to 115. It's a different kind of special triangle called 30, 60, 90. Again, anybody Googles 30, 60, 90 or tries to look up how to do 30, 60, 90 triangles on YouTube, they're not going to do SOHCAHTOA. They're going to learn a whole bunch of tricks that they expect you to memorize. We're going to do SOHCAHTOA. And at the very end, I'll show you maybe one trick. That'll help. So, here's 30, 60, 90. And obviously, if you look at a right triangle and they tell you one of them is 30, or one of them 60, the other one's 30. That's why it's special. 30, 60, 90. So here's our 30, 60, 90. Ones and halves. From up here, what is 5? It's an adjacent. And what is y?
Opposite.
Opposite. So you got opposite and adjacent. I'm going to write SOHCAHTOA over here. We want the opposite. We have the adjacent. So O and A. Which one of these has O and A in it?
Tangent.
Tangent. This is a tangent problem. So write the tangent. And what goes next to tangent? 60. Yeah, tangent 60 equals O over A, which is Y over 5. Hold on.
You cancel out.
Y over 5. When the number's down bottom, all you really need to do is bring it right here. So when the number's down bottom, put it right there. And you got to put 5 tangent 60 in the calculator. Five square roots of 3. There you go. 5 square roots of 3. All right, so there now we've done cosines. Now you've seen a tangent. Here's the next 30, 60, 90 triangle. Same thing here. What you want is a what? OA or H?
A.
Oh, we want an O. What do we have? A. So again, O and A. Tangent again. TOA. So write tangent 60. Opposite, which is X, over adjacent, which is 9. So this is the exact same thing. We, like last time, we started out with two things that are the exact same. What do we do with that 9?
Put it in front of tangent.
Yeah, you can just take it and move it in front of the tangent, and then we know what to put in the calculator. Put this in the calculator. 9 tangent 60, what does that come out to? 9 square root of 3? Now this is not the trick I was going to tell you, but just so you should have seen from the last two. If you have the small leg and you want the big leg, what do you think you multiply by?
Square root of 3.
Square root of 3. This was 5, this is 5 square root of 3. This was 9, this is 9 square root of 3. That's not the trick I wanted to show you, but that is, if you have the small and you want the big in a 30, 60, 90, just tack a square root of 3 on it. Alright, you have to draw your own triangle here. Again, make A the right angle. Just draw a triangle, right triangle. Make A the right angle. And I don't care where BC is, I'll put B up top, C to the right. They're going to tell you B is 60, so now you know it's a special triangle. And they're going to tell you AB is 48. And they're going to ask for BC. Let's figure out if this is a sine, cosine, or tangent problem. Is this an A and H or an O? A. And is this an A and H or an O? H. AH. AH. Cosine. Cosine it is. Cosine with what next to it? 60. That is A over H. So that is 48 over.
Looks like you put 6S60 instead of COS.
And there's a little bit. Cosine 60 though. 48 over X. X is on bottom. What is the trick when X is on bottom?
Just swap.
We just swap it. So if a number's on bottom, bring it over.
It's 96.
If an X is on bottom, swap spots. I like to circle them and swap them. X is 48 over cosine 60. 48 over cosine 60. $96. Nice, even 96. And the last page. A couple examples on the last page. Okay, this one's kind of rotated funky. Hypotenuse is obviously on the ground. this time. From 30, like I said, this is the hypotenuse. It's on the ground. We need to see that. What is it that we have?
Opposite.
An opposite. So you got an O and an H, and I'll write SOHCAHTOA again.
So,
An O and an H means sine. So we have a sine problem. So sine it is. Sine 30 is, so this is our first sine problem. O over H, so what over what?
12 over x.
12 over X.
Swap.
Swap. 12 over X. Swap.
The 184.
And we end up with X equals 12 over sine 30. And that came out to be what?
184.
20, just flat out 24?
Mm-hmm.
Flat out 24. Alright, the deal with this is you're working along and then all of a sudden, one pops up that has X and Y on it. Now, don't panic, don't freak out. This is just, we need to do two different things. We need to find out what X is, we need to find out what Y is. Let's just go in alphabetical order and do X first. So pretend Y is not there. Who cares what Y is? This is my hypotenuse. What is X? Adjacent. Forget you for now. So I'm going to do A and H, which means what kind of problem? Cosine. Cosine. So for the X, I'm going to say cosine 60 A over H,
X over 8.
X over 8. The number 8 is on bottom, so what happens with it?
You.
Yeah, and it comes right over here.
So it'd be 4.
Basically, it's like cross multiply and bring the 8 over. So 8 cosine 60
And
equals,
that automatically
you
gets
say
an
4?
X.
You say 4? 4 it is. And you're right, we're going to continue, but it is, there's only one that has X as 4. But just to find out for sure why that Y is what it is, you know, because sometimes you're going to have to do them both.
So now you'll
So now, forget about this. And what is that?
opposite,
Opposite
so
and
you'll use
hypotenuse.
sin.
So sine. For the Y, we'll go sine 60. Opposite over hypotenuse. Y over 8.
So you do the same thing.
Yeah. So it's almost the same thing. Y over 8. 3/8 there. 8 sine 60 equals, obviously it's going to, we know it's going to be 4 square roots of 3. 4 square roots of 3. Okay. Like I said, they're going to teach that there are many tricks that you can do to remember how to do a 30, 60, 90 triangle without SOHCAHTOA. And if you're interested, go look them all up and memorize them. But if you're not interested, be really, really good at doing SOHCAHTOA, and that'll cover you on lots of objectives and lots of things. 40%. If you put the Pythagorean theorem and SOHCAHTOA together, 40% of your end of the year test. Here's the one trick I will show you. If you know you're looking at a 30, 60, 90, the one thing I tell you is the hypotenuse is always double the small a. It's always double the small a. So, let's look at this problem right here. So I'm staying on that. We're only going to look at these two. We knew this was 12. This is the small leg. What was the hypotenuse?
24.
24. If this is 12, that's 24. That's an easy trick. I know that for sure because I'm looking at a 30, 60, 90 triangle. It's special.
Oh my gosh.
12,
that's pretty
24.
cool.
Now the other
So
one,
the x will be 4 because the hypotenuse is
the
8.
hypotenuse was 8, so this was 4. And if you remember that relationship to go from small to big leg, you just add a square root of 3 onto it. So 4 and 4 square root of 3. But that's just all tricks. So instead of memorizing
I
tricks,
like tricks.
tricks are great, but there's so many to memorize.
Tricks are for kids.
Use the cheat sheet.
Tricks are for kids.
Tricks are silly rabbit. Tricks are for kids. Okay, here we go. I've got 1, 2, 3,
Exercise?
4, 5.
We put those on exercise,
I'll put the
please?
exercise on there.
Yes.
I want to see 5 people shoot at the same time now.
Can I happen to get yesterday?
Distribute those. Yes. Yeah. Distribute those out.
Is it at the same time? That one?
At the same time. At the same time. Okay. Somebody gonna give us 3, 2, 1?
3, 2,
1. Tori's went in?
No, three of them that went in.
Yeah, there's only 2 that didn't make it.
We'll have to watch the slow motion movie probably.